Everybody get up, it's time to slam now.
Come on and slam, and welcome to the jam. Come on and slam, if you wanna
Most people don't know this about me, but I am an 18th century dainty antique delicate cracked Japanese teacup. When the Japanese mend a broken object, they aggrandize the damage by filling it with gold. When something has suffered damage, it becomes more beautiful. They said they knew who I was. They said they were afraid of my past. Little did they know, so was I. Oh, haunting pasts are like growing neck goiters, always in the way, always in plain sight. And they didn't have a problem of reminding me of the 10-year cocaine habit thing, or the unemployed thing, or the poet thing, or you've only been sober from coke 2 years thing. And rehabilitation doesn't always mean promise, and they thought me not a gentleman to keep. They said my petals had long fallen off. But little did they know that bud blooming in the wind is a rising sun. And I have crawled out of shit and seizures, and I ain't ever going back to up my nose. So fuck you. It is me who is saying my light is way too bright for you. I was the dry spell, and then the storm. Thieving, lying, deceiving, deceptful, dirty, dreadful little rocks snorted through brain. I am the fire of ash, the burnt over with heart. I resurrect thee, and your judgment of me is just another candle lit on this journey. I am the journey. You are nothing but a path. It's never too late to be yourself. If someone ever says to you, you can't, show them the well-lit back alleys of your torso. This city breathes for change and yearn for light. 2 years ago, I used to have to say, hello, my name is Thomas Fucaloro, and I am addicted to cocaine. Now I say, hello, my name is Thomas Fucaloro, and I am a new school MFA creative writing graduate. And you know who was there for me? I was there for me. If anyone ever says it's too late, tell them it's too early to jump from bridges. And you know what they say? Cocaine abuse does lead to literary MFA degrees. And you can keep cutting my limbs, but like a starfish, I keep regenerating back. So yes, I am a motherfucking super badass 18th century dainty antique delicate cracked Japanese teacup. I am damaged, but I am beautiful. My mouth is a well. You can certainly put your wishes here. I lost me. I ran away. If there is a God, why did it fill my heart with turpentine, salt water, and doubt? Oh my God, fuck it. Oh my fuck, got it. I haven't lost God. It's lost me. I've run away from the God in me. I've learned how to hunt and find food, but God is a butter I will never spread. I have replaced God with prescriptions. Hello. My name is Thomas Fucaloro, and I am leaving poetry to spend more time with my goldfish. My goldfish has a pill problem. I don't. I have a God problem. I keep thinking me, it, but it is never me. I need to find something that will make me happy within this ball of anger. I have a Thomas problem. There is too much of him. Not enough surfboard. Not enough belief that the wave will rise me up. Oh, I need to rise me up. I am the beginning of a rope I will end. These pills, a rope with no end. Bipolar depression or not, I will fuck the rug right from under me just as long as I could milligram a little bit more of this depression. This God, this drug, it wears on me. How to be a human? No. How to be a sensible and unprescribed adult? Costco now has a prescription pill counter. Synthetic happiness in bulk. It makes you feel like 5 awesomes a day. I take many awesomes a day to help control the voices. I am a cute painting, but a terrible photograph. I have been working on me since I was a child. These pills have been working on this child since I was an adult. These adults have been working on this child since I was a pill. I was never here. I was never even really there. I am not real. Just like God. My heartbeat wants to be heard. I used to only care about dead poets, the ones who have burst forth from the fire, only to become the fire, only to burst forth through me, for everything dead shall rise within me. I used to only care about dead poets because we are all buried inside ourselves. And when your body is a cemetery, you are never alone because a cemetery is a cemetery because of the lives left in it. There is a storyline here. It starts with depression and it ends in anger. And I can feel the tipping point, the beast, the bristle of flame, igniting suicidal emotions, only to realize this suicidal fire has burned for far too long, too open, too cruel, too angry, too broken. I used to only care about the dead in things. And then came the lithium. And then I used to only stare at the dead in things. And then came the coke, and oh, how I became the dead in things. And then came the soberness, and now I only write about the dead in things. Everyone tells me I look like Robin Williams, and I don't know what they're talking about. Everyone tells me I look like Robin Williams, and I know exactly what they are talking about. Poets like sad, damaged, and broken down things. I used to only care about dead poets because they are so easy to talk to. Poets like damaged, broken, and sad puppies. But then I look around this light, this earth, this Zoom room. Your glorious eyes are stars amongst this unraveled tapestry of the universe. And I've got to tell you, I used to only care about dead poets, but it's the ones who are living that are keeping me alive.
1981 by Thomas Fucaloro.
1981. The only thing I remember my parents giving me before they divorced was a Star Wars laser blaster. I can't remember anything else when they were together, except my mother locked in her room crying. After my parents divorced, they bought me new toys, separately, to prove to me who loved me most. At age 47, I still have the Star Wars laser blaster, and my mother is still locked in her room, waiting for my father to open the door.
Scent of an empress, you, whose lips scribbled 1,000 flavors on my soul, sung 100 ballads in my heart, come. You, a bouquet of 1,000,000 roses flooding my core with a river of joy, come. You, who made my eyes gaze at the color of your cheeks, dance with fireflies in the hue of moonlight, permeating the shooting stars of heaven, come. You, a Nubian empress steeped with berries in a river of wine, holding dialogue in the court of Troy to address the grandeur of beauty nonpareil, come. I see you. Lips exuding the sublimity of charisma, smile aligned to the synergy of the sun, words sweetly intoxicated by the grapes of Tuscany, humming the resonance of symphonies in each beating pulse. You, that sweet redolence of the jasmine, that healing solace of twinkling stars, drawing me inwards and upwards, sparkling in your opulence and allure. Come. It is enough that you weave a tapestry of light. It is enough that I immortalize your eloquence with a deserving brush and easel blessed. Love bathes in its own magnificence, painting the rainbow with a pageantry of shades. You carved your sweetness on the fire in my essence, erasing the nights in the agony of my longing, your sweet gaze and hazel brown eyes tugging fiercely at the dragon in my soul. Lost in my amnesia, I encountered the haziness of dreams, your cute gentleness, churning my core into sugarcane juice. Aye, what a banquet in this garden of delight. Sweet tenderness. In this hallucinatory state, I am your oasis, with the sand as my destiny. But your breath is the sand, my oasis, your perennial nectar. I see you, walking on the lap of moonlight, riding on the crest of tomorrows, pulling at the carousel of the sun. You take me to the enchanted wakefulness of another illustrious sunrise. You're in the beauty of Dunya, in the fire of Jahannam, the light of Jannah, in the pillars of Hades. Your sweet cheeks adorn the sacred drops of my river of tears, beautify the agonies and the vast emptiness of my abyss. You, who painted heaven in a lapis lazuli for my delight, come.
Please excuse my racist uncle. He doesn't understand the things he says. He was born in a different time. His words didn't used to carry the same weight. If he knew how much they really hurt you, he wouldn't continue to say those things. Please excuse my racist uncle. He's really a nice guy. When you get past his humor, you'll realize he just wants to have a laugh. He doesn't realize it's at your expense. His words are rough, but it's just to break the ice. Please excuse my racist uncle. He wasn't trying to invalidate you. Generalizations are forms of endearment to him. He pokes fun because he likes you. What are friends for if you can't tease them a little? Please excuse my racist uncle. He wasn't trying to make you cry. He can't help that he believes the things he does. It's just how he was brought up. You'd be the same way if you had the same parents. You'll feel better if you just get that. Please excuse my racist uncle. He only called the police out of concern. Maybe you were being a little loud. He just wants what he thinks is best for the neighborhood. He's not used to all the change. You can't fault him for that. Please excuse my racist uncle. He thinks if you have nothing to hide, you have nothing to fear. He's just looking out for you just as much as he's looking out for himself. Just don't make any sudden moves, all right? Please excuse my racist uncle. Your hoodie really scared him. He didn't know those were Skittles in your hand. You just seemed out of place to him. It made him nervous. It could have happened to anyone. Please excuse my racist uncle. He didn't want you to bury your child today. It was just a case of wrong place, wrong time. Sticks and stones may break your bones, but plastic water guns will get you killed. It could have happened to anyone. Please excuse my racist uncle. That cross was burning with his passion. He just thinks you'll be happier somewhere else, maybe with more people like you. He's actually being considerate if you really think about it. Please ignore my racist Uncle Sam, who's getting harder and harder to defend. I'm running out of excuses to make for him. He used to be a nice guy, I think. He's just a little late changing with the times. Please forgive my racist Uncle Sam, who separated you from your parents. I'm sorry he shaved your father's head and sent him back to a country he's never known. I'm running out of things to say. I too wish that he would change his ways. Please resist my racist Uncle Sam. He's getting too comfortable showing his true colors and fearing yours. I've come to realize this is how he's always been. I just didn't want to see. Don't defend my racist Uncle Sam. From Japanese internment camps to the Ku Klux Klan, immigration and customs enforcement are the new Gestapo, breaking Lady Liberty's heart one executive order at a time. I am ashamed of my racist Uncle Sam and how long I brought the bullshit. White life, Caucasian liberty, and the pursuit of Anglo-Saxon happiness paved over indigenous burial grounds and the right to bear pigments. Raise your voices against my racist Uncle Sam. Be louder than the oppression that's always been. Shake the foundational systems that have imposed this rhetoric for generations. Let these words break through the indifference of man that our excuses have perpetuated. Please don't excuse my racist Uncle Sam, or let him be presidentially pardoned. Let him feel the weight of the world, watching him be ravaged by revolution, one poem, one cry, one vote at a time, torn down to be built anew. Please reform my racist uncle.
My doctor says we mustn't let depression stay beckoning from my bed. Shouldn't slip into somnolent complacency and let her dream my days away. He always asks me if I feel better from the last time we did this. A quick survey of the disposition of thousands of variables, and I'm just going to say what comes into my head. He'll nod because he really does care and ask if I have the same pharmacy. New pills come marching in to join the old in my daily dose. All my side effects are twirling round on their broken axes, drugs doing the damage instead of the storm. Sometimes we have to submit to brutality to be healed and brutalize ourselves in the process. Some days she sits on my shoulder, whispering her dark interpretations, dire implications, unholy expectations, echoing walls that never stayed the same for long, and childhood beds that were never home. My friend points to her perch from time to time and asks me if it's empty. I'll nod because I don't want him to worry, but she giggles when I lie. Lying beside me later, eyes locked like lovers, fingers interlaced, she sings her lullaby. A siren song for a man who never sails. Some nobody spitting loneliness, slipping away on the underside of the sheep I keep counting in between these verses. I dreamt my doctor flew me out over mountain lakes, passing between peaks, swooping low and suddenly swerving, we plummeted towards the water. Final thoughts flashed, the crash didn't come. And I woke amongst the debris of a day that hasn't even started yet.
Rejoice in the small penis. Celebrate the small penis. Embrace, please, somebody. Won't you embrace the small penis? Now, I know there are probably quite a few of you who probably don't agree with this, and I really must confess that if I had 3 wishes, I'd probably waste 2. To be completely honest, it wouldn't be totally for you, but imagine what we could actually do if we would just rejoice in the small penis. Now, I'm sure that I know what you must be thinking. That feeling in your stomach is certainly sinking, but it's going to get to the point where we're not going to be able to afford the gas to get to work. And at the risk of sounding like a complete and total jerk, open up your fucking eyes and recognize that America is the primary target market for the SUV. And I'm not even whipping out my microscope to closely examine those monster trucks jacked up to the sky, but every time I publicly question why, some guy overcompensates by telling me that my ass is grass. Well, he's a little too late, because the price of gas already kicked my ass, and really we should all just be smoking that grass so we can all just chill the fuck out. Perhaps a joint effort is exactly what the doctor should prescribe, so that we can all learn how to just enjoy the ride and maybe even learn how to celebrate the small penis. Now, I'm not even going to try and trick myself into believing that size doesn't matter. After all, why would a guy get his tongue pierced? Twice. So I promise to be nice if we're left unsatisfied, because in the end, boys will be boys. So I'm all good with bringing in a few toys and maybe even inviting a couple of friends, but we've got to stop trying to pretend that isn't the most ridiculous issue in thrusting our society today. I mean, after all, why would we pay $1.4 billion in just 3 months for Viagra? Now, this whole mess would be a lot less tense if men didn't lack the confidence, and I'm not even going to try to touch the NRA because that cliche is far too obvious, but maybe, just maybe, we would be able to rescue our own flooded out poor if our junk wasn't always stuck in someone else's stupid war. I mean, come on, people, what do you think missiles are shaped that way for? Now, if we could all just keep our overinflated egos at bay and drop our American bully way, maybe we could actually make this Tiny Johnson's big day. And maybe we could actually open up our minds to such ideas as equality, acceptance, fair housing, healthcare, and maybe we wouldn't have to bust our asses 60 hours a week just for a mere pittance. I mean, seriously, how much better would be this place if someone would just look Donald J. dead in the face and say, "We embrace your small penis." Now, I knew I was going to forget it. God damn it. For us to actually pull this off, we're going to need the assistance from you. All that other stuff has truly got to be enough. You know, the sunshine, the rainbows, the puppy dog tails. But even those times when we have those deep struggles within and we're scraping together our last dime and you're pining for some Sherman tank that's sure to tear some shit up, just keep in mind that a stealth bomber might fly below the radar, but it's sure to hit the target each and every time. Now, if you may not totally agree, but if maybe you just step back, take a moment and see, it truly is the little things in life that count. Those subtle, insinuating sidewise glance, trying to go to the dance even when you ain't got no rhythm, trying to work out a system even on those days where you don't want to be seen by anybody but each other. So perhaps we can possibly unite and learn to fight help for the little guy and learn to rejoice, celebrate, and embrace. Somebody, anybody, embrace the small penis.
In the early stages of dementia, some individuals have confusion and sleeplessness in the late evening hours. This is referred to as sundowning. It is not to be confused with the sundown town, where the Black folks were advised to leave town before the late evening hours, lest they be met with violence. Sundowners began to forget the little things. Where are my keys? What day is it? Who are you? But they never forget that niggas ain't supposed to be there at night. Mima can't hold on to her bowels, but holds on to her hatred like a Bible. That boy in the corner there keep whistling at me. She remembers the lie, but not why she told it. Left the truth in the Tallahatchie with the body and only one resurface. Mima sees the ghosts of racist past. That boy there, his sisters had the nicest dresses, so I made sure they had a funeral to wear them to. When I die, bury me in the most beautiful dress, casket sharp enough to break the silence. Let my repast be a picnic, like the good old days. I like my dark meat with a little char. Don't worry, Mima is sundowning again. She can't sleep because she sees all the black she's wronged when she closes her eyes, and suddenly, the nursing home becomes a sundown town, where the sundowners can't remember their own kids, but Can't forget the babies cut from hanging bodies right before their eyes. Don't you let that lady touch me. Now, I done told you I need a white doctor. She's afraid the staff will seek revenge for their ancestors. It's funny how there's always a deathbed confession, but no apology. It's as if the racists come out at night, daydreaming of days past, and somewhere around 8 p.m., this poem began sundowning, remembering all the things America wants us to forget, like a sundown country who brought Black folk here to work in the summer sun, but don't expect us to still be here when the sun go down. Oh, shit. Am I still here? Am I still here? Okay. Don't expect them to still be there when the sun go down, and somehow it always forgets who it is, but doesn't forget its racism. And I'm supposed to have a sunny disposition, early stages of dementia, when your Meemaw forgets my name but calls me nigger instead. You waging war on wages don't pay me enough to keep the sun from setting. So whether the sundown is a town, or a country, or a person, just know I held on as long as I could. But I refuse to let the sun beat me home.
Poetry. I am that. I am cage bird singing, cry freedom, releasing energy, flick of the wrist, nothing but swish. I am thunderous slam, unbottled, black lightning striking twice, poetry with a mean left hook. Look at my poem dance, like David around the ring, Alvin Ailey footwork. I am a progress in work, a newborn's cry, a medicinal laugh. I am poetry that will get up in your mind, body, soul. I am Janet Jackson, control. I am reckless abandon, flowing fluidly, a prisoner being fed water, and the autobiography of Malcolm X. I am muted breath of Underground Railroad passengers silently singing, "Who let the dogs out?" I am extroverted, introvert, a poetic panhandler. Can anybody spare a penny, nickel, quarter, dime? I am poetry seeking change. I am poetry changing its name to spoken word because of an outstanding warrant, arrested development, living just enough for the city, pigeonholed, a dove's cry, trapped in a bar of soap. Don't drop me. I am the quicker picker upper, the coming to America dream of immigrants from Zamunda. I am Dr. Martin Luther, Prince, purple clad, the color of struggle. Easy like Sunday, digital underground on Wednesday, doing the Humpty Hump Day. I am the chance to do your dance, boogie woogie to the rhythm. Naysayers, how dare you say different? If I ain't poetry, a Wookiee ain't Harry. If I ain't poetry, a Catholic's favorite football play ain't the Hail Mary. I married poetry and became one flesh till death do us. Life is a poet's gift. If the dinosaurs had poetry, they would still exist. I am existential. I am concrete. A rose grew from me. I am poetry.
The way of shackles and freedom. Like an obedient sentinel, I have followed the cause of those who see life in golden shadows. They have remained ever menacing, and their tools of callousness and deceit are ever functional. They soak me in promises of a better life, keeping me trapped in cycles, so I vote for a candidate already chosen on my behalf. So I vote for a candidate already chosen on my behalf. They do this by encouraging me to pray on the very things they fear, so I become the deliverance. They finally begin to doubt my good intentions, and the same tools that favored me are used to replace me as the story repeats itself, my own son now being susceptible to the old narrative of lies and deception. I am replaced by a cycle that does not end but continues in gold, while my pockets drain blood because my benefits are depleted. My debt increases while nurses and doctors struggle for more staff and the cost of my sustenance rises. I pay a tax which was promised to be a penny, but is now much higher, and I learn to live with it, as I have grown not only to hate, but blame my cousin from Mexico, now seen as part of the challenges I face for not having enough food on my table. Spin doctors and strategists. They come and have always come, not like griot or messengers of light and promise, but of gold, power, and shackles. They weave webs that conceal the darker motives which promote greed, destroy ethnicities, and hurts me with big pharma. Using the art of control, they manipulate the narrative, keeping my spirit trapped in fading moons. They come in vaccines too, prepared by a tiny number of oligarchs, filling their coffers from sales with items questionable to my well-being and the potential to hurt my psyche with things like conflicts, drugs, mental trauma, and numerous wars. Love is ever patient, and the play of consciousness dances. As such, the time comes when the cycle needs to shift, and Mother Gaia, with a saber of light, rains down mercy on souls in the form of pestilences, tornadoes, tsunamis, and more. Alas, for a while caught in the narrative of the web that traps me, I see my family as the lie that don't exist, except in the callous hearts and greed of those I seek to serve. Kamini Kanchana, Mujeres y Oro, women, power, and gold. This gold I count and cuddle in dreams, even though it slips in foreign bank accounts, having been unlawfully seized or taken from sovereign lands that never belonged to me. I use control through science and tech, used by bullies who only understand bigger bullies, or those who rise, not all with good intentions. When the corporate begins to drain my soil, I, the gardener, kicks back to protect my livelihood. I have read a little history, so I begin to become familiar with a pattern repeating itself to entrap me, to enmesh my being in struggle. Somewhere in my world family, a strong voice rises to create radical change to free me from the fetters of avarice, soft and hard power, using the same narrative of control to devastate in effect, alarming the alarmist by showing a different path. Initially, people die, yet love remains merciful and forgiving, and light, by its very nature, eventually emerges. This it does by illumining, elevating, inspiring, reaching the heart, and if receptivity is touch and assimilation quick, then its power works wonders, freeing me from my impediment bondage. Lantern says, "O love, you who give freely, create, preserve, and transform my life, come. Free me from the shackles of millennia. Do feed me with your brilliance from the golden temples of the sun."
This one is titled Home. And to be clear, I do love the live oaks and their Spanish moss lovers, the kinship between the teetotaler Tupelos and their thirsty need cypress friends, which imbibe in the shallow swamps on Green Pond Road, and the lanky loblolly pines that usher me along to Cane Bay. But they are not the catalpa on College Avenue, the delicate ginkgos on Cherry Street, or the birch saplings that streamlined my old backyard, serving as slinky leg warmers to the poplars, while the robust and barrel-chested sycamores superimpose onto the pinks of the sky. I have become nebulous to Botany Bay, The driftwood beach, offset from the intracoastal highway, a ghost beach of the fallen palmettos, hidden beauty of Edisto Island, left arm of Buddha, where I learned from the locals to wait for the low tide, to hang conch shells on the brittle tree branches and make wishes. It is not home, I know. If anything, it is so far beyond what I've envisioned home to be, an otherworldly portal in between Indiana and South Carolina. It is somewhere in which I cannot be reached, and that solace is loudly and beautifully quiet. A quiet beach, yes, showing slick coral shelves like sheets of phyllo dough folding into the sea with strong-armed waves that don't beg to be anything, but simply ask to be acknowledged in silence. I cast wishes out into the dark waves, which open their hands to my wants stuffed into shells, to my wants pushed along the eddies, my wants slipping into the tide pools, pockmarking the sands. This is called Tarantella. There's a grieving woman in my house tonight. She danced all night with an old bottle of cooking wine, shaky and uneven in step, yo-yoing a two-word chant, Emma, unglaublich, unglaublich, Emma, madly dancing, whirling with wine to prove to the netherworld that she is fucking right. After a while, 2 a.m., maybe 4, she sat exhausted, perplexed, miffed as her soft pink flannel pajamas with a missing pearl button seemed to absolutely mock her. Baffled as she swore to herself that grief was some sort of poison, which she could simply be rid of, not ready to know that this is just love. Love like being stuck between elevator floors. She had never sat still long enough for love to move when it's ready, when the gears are good and greased and able to churn, making mechanical and profound noises. Never thought it could be this way. Unglaublich. Never thought it could be this way. Emma unglaublich.
The song is called To Live and Die in Oz. Strip away that road they say is paved with gold. You'll find it ain't so pretty. Vision's gone gold blind, trying to find the Emerald City. If only we could look beyond the mirror and find that one true omniscience. Finally, perhaps I could collect on all of my 3 wishes. If they only had a brain, perhaps they wouldn't be quite so insane. Maybe our humanity wouldn't be bleeding down a drain. If we only had a brain. If they only had a heart, maybe Civil War II wouldn't have to start. Our future education wouldn't be falling apart. If we only had a heart. If they only could be brave, perhaps we wouldn't have to dig so many graves. Maybe there would actually be something left to save. If we only could be brave. Mr. Wizard, I don't want to be an American anymore, but there's no place like home. No place like home. Why can't we just leave well enough alone? You know the day is gonna come when we're gonna have to atone. But you just wanna sit and stare at your 55-inch plasma color screen or hide behind the tinted windows of some monster SUV. And if you really wanna be the big man, maybe you'll have two. And if you're having trouble getting yours, just find someone else to screw. There's no place like home. No place like home. I think back to a time when we all had our own personal magic. And people didn't stumble around with eyes so dark, 'cause life just wasn't so tragic. If only we could find the courage to speak the words that really needed to be said, maybe we wouldn't be leaving our children a planet that's already been left for dead. Now more than ever, we've got to stick together and weave a worldwide magic spell. 'Cause after all, ain't we all got the same old sad stories to tell? Thank you for listening.
Fuck! See, I just had to try it. I had to take it back, like a breath, like a whisper, like a second lost to time. See, I'm scared to curse since I got sober. Scared to be anything but okily, fuckily, dokily all the time. Scared to be in pain. Scared to be vulnerable. Scared to be in the moment. Scared to say this isn't the life I gave up drugs for. But mama doesn't want to hear that. And son doesn't want to be a burden again, be a black sheep anymore. He doesn't ever want her to scroll through photos of him on her phone screaming, "This is my son! This is my son! This is my son! I want him back, and you aren't him ever the fuck again." So I don't curse, I don't go outside, I don't act up or act out, I just act like I'm okay with being the new creation I am in God since I got baptized, act like I'm really behind this whole Jesus thing, act like I don't want to scream the word fuck just to hear how it sounds, remember how it tastes ringing from my uvula, how it burns, like the whiskey, like the cocaine, like the meth, like the razors that bit my skin on nights I didn't have any of the above, like the shame, like the pain of her cheating, of her leaving, of me losing everything. Sometimes I want to scream fuck at a church service just to see if God is really listening. Sometimes I want to scream fuck at a meeting just to see if the people around me react. Sometimes I think they're all acting too. All I know is I've forgotten how to express myself, you see. The Lord has delivered me from hell. But along with that, I think I lost that fire inside. So I'm blowing on the embers with a nice slow fuck to see if I can get myself started again. And I thank you for bearing with me in the process. I wish that I could sharpen a pencil on my writer's block. It's nights when I'm furthest away from my last dose of medication that the words come to me again. They used to paint the walls of my mind like a Pollock. All it took to piece together a poem was to reach out into the void of my misery and grab tragedy by the throat, slam it against my canvas and watch creativity seep out. I would bleed my brain of all its maladies, throw a little grit in my voice to match the harshness of the whiskey. I would down to throw up the stanzas and proceed to beat my own ass in public. Boy, was it a spectacle. If you know, you know. But my abilify doesn't abilify me the way I want it to. I want to be able to have the creativity of insanity without the hurts, habits, and hang-ups. I want my bipolar disorder to be my superpower without having to be my arch nemesis at the same time. I want to write music again. But the problem is, I need problems to write about. I used to be a welling cesspool of inspiration. I was like a vending machine. Insert substances for entertainment. I bore auroras through my pain. Could light up a room with my self-deprecation. Would put on live exorcisms for the sake of being artistic. But the thing about when I had it easy as a poet is that poetry wasn't a hobby. It was a byproduct. It was the substance released by the digesting of life. It was a necessity. It was a ride I couldn't get off of. I needed it to fucking function. And the thing is that I don't anymore. The messed up thing is that I catch myself still wishing that I did. I miss the chaos. I miss bleeding out loud. I miss having a reason to. The sigh of relief from getting a weight off your shoulders requires a burden to begin with. I miss biting off more than I can chew so that I can learn how to chew it. I miss my life being a total fucking wreck because there was beauty in that sadness. I hate that I'm writing this. I hate that I'm lying about hating writing this. The truth is, I miss poetry in the same way that I miss drugs and alcohol. I miss having an excuse for all of the above, but I have taken my life back, mixed my misery in the mortar, and laid bricks for my foundation. There will be no need to rebuild this time around, and that scares the ever-living crap out of me because that means I'm married to what I build and I haven't made the best choices historically. I don't need to fall apart to pick the pieces back up anymore, but there was a cold comfort to that, like the other side of a pillow, and when tossing and turning at night was all I ever did, that was one of the only comforts I knew. But maybe poetry isn't like drugs and alcohol. Maybe it's like God. Maybe it's something I can have as much as I want of and it won't be bad for me. Maybe this isn't goodbye. Maybe it's like a relationship. Maybe I just have to work for it because it doesn't come like a torrent anymore. Doesn't mean it isn't for me. Maybe this is where I say I can still have this. Maybe the writer's block is just a dam and the words are waiting for me, plentiful as ever before, on the other side. Maybe misery never had a thing to do with it, and so I'm taking my pencil and I'm chipping away at my writer's block, a night at a time. I'm going to let diligence be my new superpower. I'm looking forward to the flood.
You're a notorious master thief, and you've been tasked with stealing the world's most expensive garlic bulb, worth a veritable fortune. I am reeling. O thou noble bulb, whose possession I desire near as dear as love. Oh, to possess thee, I would dare any crime. To hold thee, squeeze thee, now and in eternal time. Oh, thou precious bulb, I desire thee so completely. Each clove before my nose doth dance, your perfume doth my very soul entrance. I've chased you across yon merry world, that I might you in my loving arms enfold. Though copious volumes of history have thee laid thy tracks, in health and wealth and marriage and miscarriage have borne thee, noble garlic, up to the max. When, summoned by the ancient healers, do thy best from Chinese to Greeks, the healers will attest. I must have thee. I've got a special handmade box, and it rests there in my Chester drawers beneath my socks. And though I have oft purloined both gems and gold from treasure chest and dowager's boudoir bold, across the continent in far fair Sind I've made my way, from treasure house to castle gem and storehouse, in to dip my hands and steal away their treasures in fair or foulest weather. Say, but this great garlic heist challenges my fame, and upon it I will hazard all my reputed skills to gain, and thus add to my treasury this famed bulb, and I will on my sweetie's toes to gently rub. This is known by the ancients to charm full love, as greatest love is known and shown the illuminated, seldom sated, mighty, munificent, good gods above. And when upon her toe is placed a inflamed juices, do I in secret brace gently place. Sure, her heart will soar, her eyes will gleam, and I will appear unto her in my true sphere, the very godlike creature of her dreams. And then upon my lips she will give to me the fated kiss arrive, so that all the ruddy droplets of my heart will soar and charm. No jive. I have researched and studied careful that it were guarded by a full dozen baleful mercenaries and the closest chief of surgery. I will in fact spirit it off with the utmost urgency. 'Twill be enough. And though my confederates back in my lair, those who are yet free and those who are recently escaped from jail, have urged me, once my hands have snatched the glorious bulb, in point of fact, that all men desire, and women too. They've urged me, surge me, wouldn't you? I must have it, as is my habit, at least break the darn thing in two, that all my men might prosper when I grab it. If only When they behold the brightest bulb in the dreams of old, the tiniest part from this dangerous step, this purloining of garlic's highest even cleft. Just 1/10 part would make their fortunes. I toss it off with the cold, heartless remorselessness of a stern-faced surgeon. I will have this precious bulb to rub the toes of my lady love, though just the cent is worth a ton of gold, but more precious to my heart. This dearly, darling, there beyond of any bargaining, thus I will, it shall not be sold. So, up upon the museum roof, I stealthily slip the greedy bonds of earth, and though it's guarded by 10 troops of guards, for all their worth, I, invisible seeming, scheming, heedless, I make my way, even as a false step on the loose and slipping roof tile cannot block my way. Then, a random flare, shot high above to discourage any seeker with little nerve and lesser love. Making my way to the chimney shade, I affix my cables and down toward the skylight made my stealthy path that had to last until return from my wanderings with my bulbous beauty in hand and make my way steadily past. Once I slipped between the skylight and the ceiling, I could see exactly what kind of dangerous mission I was unreeling, and with the mighty pole star of my mission, neither hesitant nor racked with indecision, in seconds I dropped to the museum's marble floor, and in a moment dispatched the heavily armed guards one by one, all 4. And as they fell, they laid a slumber no longer at their duty. I swore I'd have that glorious garlic, no matter how great the number. I'll have it. It is my tonic. As Pliny said, the Egyptians revered it and swore it on their oaths, as the gods would hear it. When Moses took his people on a stroll, it was the lack of garlic that was so oft lamented and took its toll, until Jehovah relented. Garlic was placed at crossroads by the Greeks and the goddess Hecate for protection against demons and for childbirth relief. Greek soldiers would dine on copious amounts of garlic afore their battles, so the ancients were known on and on and on to prattle. The Koreans ate garlic for protection from tigers, so who am I in these days and times to deny this? I would bathe and laze it about on my lady's toe, and I swear mightily lustily nowhere else would it go. They might offer pounds or rubles. They might even off to exercise the largest, even ever so troublesome, some say benign rumor. But though marks and francs they might pile so high, but not for me, I pine instead for my lady's breathless sigh as she turns her pretty head. A hole I quickly inscribed on the bright glass case, and with a dashing quick stroke I extract the golden garlic bulb and replace it with a mimic, a mock one made of biodegradable hemp and plastic, with my holographic signature to mock them with my moniker, Rick. And though no chance for error, I slipped through the roof right top light skylight. And since the gods were with me, I got it just right. No need for terror. And now the alarm had been raised, and by some chance a passing cabby made one quick stop outside the museum, which gave me just the opportunity that I needed to save me. One more close shave the garlic gods did offer, and even then this, the kiss, the romantic topper. And as Homer reported, Ulysses owed his escape from Circe to the yellow garlic. I returned quick to my lady's bed and treated her just right. A nice trick.
This piece is called The Gorilla Figurine. What would you ask the dead? The ball cap turned to its side looks a little like how Jaw wears his caps. The cap itself is more like what Jim wears, though I haven't seen that color on his head. Jim would never smoke a cigar. I haven't smoked in years. The valet is enjoying a cigarette in between helping old folks into wheelchairs. The parking spaces here are large enough for my car. I'm trying to remember what the doctor told me about the procedure that made my memory all fucked up. He told me why the whole thing went sideways, and he was actually apologetic, but I can't remember what he said. I haven't seen him since that day. That would have been a few weeks after the procedure that fucked up my memory. I don't know what year that was. Someone asked me what happened, and I couldn't tell them. I forgot. A man yelling at a woman behind a desk. Another man loudly shaking his head, but not yelling at a woman behind a desk. A woman behind a desk looking like she does this every single fucking day. A nurse who never made eye contact but held my wrist. Or maybe I never looked at her. a doctor who wanted my blood and had the nurse walk me to the lab. I think he was rightfully afraid that I wouldn't make it there on my own. I'm terrified of needles. A 76-year-old woman who got married last year and has trouble remembering her new name. I imagine sitting at a computer that can answer any question I ask it, and the cursor is blinking, and time is passing by, and the cursor is blinking, and I can't think of a question to ask. The cursor is blinking. He has so much potential if only he would apply himself. Didn't read enough, didn't study enough, went outside instead of doing homework, spent time with life and trees and friends and endless bicycle rides. My father left when I was 17 and broke my heart. I loved him with everything I had to give. When I felt him pull away, I tried harder to show him that I was worth keeping. He sat in the corner in one dream and didn't say anything. He was just present. And I think that's the one that got me. That's when his presence really started to bother me. You'd remember if you wanted to. God damn. My grandfather sat next to me as we drove him to the bank. He wanted to tell me something so badly, but he didn't. I wonder if he didn't have the words or the courage. Is that harsh? If I could speak to him again, I'd ask him if he healed. Could he heal? Did he ever escape from the chair in the front room where he waited for his mother to come back? Can my memory heal? Can I?
Hey, Angel, sitting in the shadows, what's going on? It feels like I'm losing you. This is me speaking to the reflection who won't meet my eyes, who flinches at sunlight, only moving when she had to. One who stopped singing in the showers and started standing still in middle of rooms like she's forgotten why she's in them at all. Angel. But lately I feel your grip slipping, your voice no longer marches to protests and syllables right through. Now it barely heard, not even a whisper. Silence. Like you stopped fighting and didn't bother to send a warning. Did you shower? No, because being up feels violent. My skin doesn't belong to me anymore. Water only reminds me I still have a body and I don't want to feel anything, not even warm. I'm not sure I'd be clean while my thoughts stay filthy. Turning lights on makes me feel makes me get confrontation, and I can't look at this body. I'm trapped inside. Or these eyes in the mirror that don't blink back the same. I'm tired. Not the kind of sleep, not the kind that sleep can fix. And honestly, I just don't care enough to anymore. Angel, you used to write. Where's your pen? Somewhere under the mess I sleep in. Between rappers and regret, next to the notebook I won't open because I'm too scared of what might spill out. Not poetry, just proof that I'm unraveling in sentences that don't rhyme anymore. Proof this isn't a phase, that I'm not healing, and this silence no longer sacred. It's septic. Every word I try to write smells like something decaying. Baby girl, you need to eat something. I did. Yesterday. Maybe. So time feels like soup, thick, blurry, and I'm too tired to chew through it. Besides, what's the point of filling a body? Feeding a body that's just a placeholder for someone who's already left. Look, please don't talk like that. Why? Why? Because it makes you uncomfortable? Because it makes me sound suicidal? Because it sounds too final? When I say I've been practicing disappearing, I mean it. One skip call at a time, one unread message, one plan canceled without explanation, one less breath that anyone notices. I didn't go missing all at once. I just subtracted myself slowly. Look, I haven't written a note. I haven't counted pills. I haven't tested weight limits from rooftops. But if existing is a slow erosion, I'm already halfway dust. Just hold on, please. We'll get through this. You keep saying we like I'm still here with you, like I didn't already slide out the back door of my own body and leave the lights on out of habit. You keep calling my name like it still fits my mouth, but it doesn't. It's heavy now, sharp at edges. And every time I say it, it feels like you're calling someone who died last week and no one had the guts to bury her. You're still here. I can feel you. Then why do I feel so hollow, so vacant? Even my breath feels like a stranger, so full of static I can hear myself think, so numb I mistake it for peace. So busy being broken, I forgot how to feel. Why do I move through the world like I owe it an apology, but not being more alive or being enough? Angel, I don't want to lose you. I hear you. I hear you. But what if you already have? And nothing but silence answers back.
Grounding me. I see flowers in a vase past their prime, mold, wine, candle, gravy dish filled with vintage floral napkins, gathered in rings like a bouquet, back of a standing fan gone silent, light over my head as I sit in my kitchen. I hear the ceiling fan in the living room, forcing heavy air through. I hear the dog chewing on her bone suddenly stop as she falls asleep. I hear the microwave beep, alerting me my lunch is ready. I hear jets passing overhead, living too close to an Air Force base. Hear the refrigerator gurgling gases like an old man. Smell an old musty house been around for 100+ years. Smell something unidentifiable. Smell myself, like my pastor used to say. Taste hungry in my mouth as it waters. Taste tasteless food ready in the microwave. I touched myself this morning with a recently purchased motorized pleasure destined to become my new best friend. It's easy to identify stressors. It's a centerpiece for every poem, the trauma bonding that my captive audience are forced to listen to. Why can't I write a love story with a happy ending? Why can't I just breathe? Desperation sets in, written all over my face. People see me and avoid. Trying to get answers I ask to get my cards read. Somehow I already knew it would lead to another dead end. Answers, answers. I need answers. You may have already guessed my coping skills are not healthy. To become an emotional basket case, post cryptic memes, calling all to action, and make empty threats only to return to my room with my new best friend. Or maybe write another poem about it. To be grounded in a sick body is a lifetime prison sentence. As one ages and various organs are getting paroled, I wonder when the entire thing will be called home. I begin looking around about different ways to die. I believe we're all on borrowed time. I think I will live on as a tree in my afterlife, or my spirit will go back to its universal source and become much larger in size. Ironically, after spending a lifetime trying to get smaller. Before the surgery, there were signs of a hostile takeover, headaches every day, the feeling of excruciating pain in my side that took my breath away, standing up too quickly like the ultimate head rush, all the blood draining from my body, pooling in my feet, yet would not move, head floating away from the body, all connections to the earth gone, loud humming in my ears, looking through gauzy mist before lights out, with eyes open.
Because of sin, Trials and suffering has the world trapped in scrupulous tribulations, fading us from the hands of diplomacy by those who would rule out of ideology, championing our follow under a systemic voting pretense, one that has been manipulated by its predecessors before, as the 45th takes the 47th place. The people of America stand up against a fastened governmental fist, one that would rule out of iron if empowered by civilian deduction. And Donald Trump states, we're going to give immunity to the police so that they can do their jobs. He's going to give federal immunity to police so that they can do their jobs. I guess police officers are landscapers now, plowing the fields of Black dreams like grass blades. The global depopulation mandate is no different to him than groundskeeping. In his eyes, only the chopping down of Black lives can allow their bare feet an earthly connection. When your arms bear bullets and noose like tattoos, it's a flagstaff salute, a joystick proofing to your call of duty, your Black ops acknowledgement, a pledge of allegiance to war against melanin. I prayed someone prove this theory to be wrong. Then a 911 call from a Black woman ended with law enforcement fatally shooting her to death. They say she may have been safer with the prowlers than she was with their come to her defense. And the president stated, let us make man, landscapers. We're going to give federal immunity to police so that they can do their jobs. Weeding out Black and brown plants they plantationed, adult to seed, clickbait, they are chemtrailing the way, crop dusting us out of existence with sprays that affect everything living. They're sacrificing themselves to take us all out. The president says, we're going to give federal immunity to police so that they can do their jobs. It sounds like a call to rest knees on Black throats, a cry for Black mamas to be a last breath. It echoes like a whistleblower lynching for Black males who don't pin their lips together. It's unsafe to walk alone through a community today. The neighborhood watchmen are stalking brown skin. Killing African Americans is equivalent to mounting their heads on their man cave walls. The snacks in our hands impart similarity to proposing threats. Recreational running can get you sprayed quicker than fleeing a crime scene. Apparently, they've never stopped hanging us from trees, because Black truck drivers are turning up abroad. A young Black kid goes missing every day. The police patrolling low-income neighborhoods is strategically played. So when traffic stops become a beating, a murder, a social injustice protesting, don't be surprised by the slap on the wrist given to the law enforcement. It's their civic duty, their job description, their daily task as landscape men. Knowing their president, Donald Trump is going to pardon their guilt with federal immunity issued through the Trump administration.
Why are you always the fall guy? It always begins with others trying to trim you down, shaping you to what they believe you should be, picking on you consistently. But that wasn't enough. I guess these forces couldn't stand the love I had for you. I just need you to know I'm on your side, always. I'm sorry I couldn't be there to save you. I wish you didn't always have to take one for the team. Always the one who, like Christ, is sacrificed for the greater good. The difference, you won't return in 3 days. Perhaps a shadow of your former self will appear in that time as a rebirth, a tease of what's to come. But your return will take longer, perhaps stronger and purer, as if you were Moses returning from the bush after an encounter with God. They say that good things come to those who wait, yet I'm impatient. I'll admit that. The anticipation of being in your presence to behold the glory of you, your thickness, your contrast of youth and wisdom commingling in unison, the comfort you give against my touch, the fantasies you stir in my imaginations. You've brought me such comfort. You were an innocent bystander, yet butchered away till you no longer existed. With the exception of your resurrection, I'll await your return with unbridled anticipation. I contemplated wearing black since I mourn you. Consider this your living eulogy, a tribute to your importance in my life. In the meantime, I will create a shrine in effigy to your memory. Just know I adored you from the very beginning. You were definitely a deal maker, swaying me to a love-like position. I look forward to your return. Ode to my man's beard.
1. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the fascist states of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under Trump, extremely divisible with liberty and justice for Trump. 2. Satan forgot to flush him down. And we had the opportunity to do just that. I guess there's just too much shit in those pipes, for Trump has a nasty way of resurfacing, bringing more problems than any solutions. 3, moving forward, job applications should omit convictions in the background check in the same fashion they should have removed relative job experience in 2016. 4, we should be treating Trump supporters like Nazi supporters. Y'all traded an armband for a cap. Y'all are supporting a racist and fascist regime. Y'all deserve a punch in the face. 5, I hope we don't see another devastating hurricane run through that island of floating garbage, because my family would be absolutely fucked. We are going to need more than just paper towels, cabron. Chingate maga sucia 6. Maybe we need something worse than a pandemic to remind the masses that we the people made the wrong choice, but I doubt it. America likes it rough. Again, I kink shame you eternally. 7, you either die a hero or you live long enough to become the villain. Funny how you are becoming the same thing you villainized in World War II. Wish.com Hitler is probably going to lead us into World War III. Maybe we need to see something ugly to happen here so that we can never repeat the same mistakes leading to this moment in history, in a similar fashion that Germany distances themselves from Nazism. 8, to any people of color who voted for Trump, I hope you are never on the receiving end of police brutality, because y'all voted for the police to have immunity. 9, Lady Liberty is crying her eyes out, with tears flooding the streets throughout America. There are no lifeboats in sight. 10, America's misogyny is too afraid to have a woman president. 11, on the day after the election, my first customer said, "Today's a good day to be an American." Please define what it is to be American other than deplorable. 12. I made it to 12. Can Trump even count to 12? Yet people actually count on him to run this country. 13. Sequels tend to be worse than the original.
Should I be Superman or not? I can't fly in the sky so fancy free. I can't lift a mountain up over my head. I can't run 100 miles per hour. I can't save a woman from getting hit by a bus. But I can't say I can't because I do this through my daily schedule when I can liberate autistic seniors to play sports at a day habilitation program. I can eat 6 meals a day without feeling too bloated. That's gluttony. I can walk from my house all the way to Bricktown Mall. I can bang out a double header of poetry readings on a late night, wake up 4 hours later, and still make it to work energized without a set of taurine wings. Superman never needed wings. And the steroid era needed the fans to look at them but not look inside them. Well, I need an extra 12 hours to add to my day, so I can add to my day and I can live long enough to travel the world of the empirical odyssey. The American dream without the money or the problems that come with it. Pick your poison.
This is from CNN, July 28th, 2025. The Trump administration will allow federal workers to have personal religious expression to the greatest extent possible unless such expression would impose on business operations. Furthermore, employees may engage another in polite discussion of why their faith is correct and why non-adherent should rethink their religious beliefs. The title of this poem is called Taking a Break. As I roll up my pant legs and I unbutton my shirt and put on my makeshift hat with the horn stapled on, I rise upon my desk. I am the Lord of the Stapler, God of the Staples, Vinny from accounting. By observing those that came before me, I have found the metal to keep my life together by making sure I create a supply order when we run out of staples. As Lord of the Stapler, God of the Staples, and Vinny from accounting, we are all going to have to accept each other regardless of what halo we find poured in. But I have seen way too much. Use staples with no follow through, nothing devoted to their sacrifice. Folded in, some impaled into the carpet floor, sparkling. Every time a stapler clicks, an angel gets their wings attached. I say a click to the payroll department for keeping my lights on, and a click to Sandra in Human Resources for her triple-paged memos, and a click to those starving in third-floor office buildings, and who keeps throwing away my open containers of egg salad, and who keeps usurping this energy into forgetting, and who keeps spreading said goss pills has created tension in my liver. All these supplements they want us to attain at work. Religion is not as important as an open hand. Faith is what happens in between the line breaks. And on April 24th, 2024, Marjorie Taylor Greene said, Russia knows how to protect Christian values. And then on February 6th, 2025, Trump signs an executive order rooting out anti-Christian bias. Then on March 24th, Pete Hegseth said the F-47 will be the most advanced, most lethal, and most adaptable fighter jet the world has ever seen. And then on July 13th, 2025, Flag Day, the day of the military parade, the newscaster said, every time we're attacked on our home turf, we get new stuff. The title of this poem is God is a Puddle That Everyone Steps in. Some God, in between God, what's best God, central God, but better outside the heart God, the breathing God. You remember God. The search echoes God. We all echo God. Prayer echoes God. Into nothing God. Sometimes I think we're nothing God. Some gods are here to destroy us. Some gods are here to destroy us. A dime a dozen, some gods. Better never than late, some gods. Speak louder than words, some gods. Break louder than families, some gods. Fornicate louder than insecurity, some gods. Live louder than scripture, some gods. Are wannabe expressionist painters. Can't decide which frame to chart, which dozen to dime on, which prayer to obliterate. God of a feather paints crime together. Gods of the weather glock time together. It's always raining somewhere. Bury the bullet next to the hatchet. A piece of God, on steak God, on knife God, on tongue God. Get something out of your system God. This bird of a feather got God together and spill overused blood. This God is a puddle everyone steps in. This God everyone prints in. This God, some God can't decide which God, which mountain to peak. Bury this prayer. Some gods are here to redeem, but only through middlemen. I'm in between bodies, crying over spilt gods. Confession of the feather writes together on every fucking wall. Bury God into my head like propaganda, missing my heart. The American way into nothing, God. Some are false gods, transactional gods, 69 gods. Class description: the poetry of good grief. I became a poet when my mother gave me her 1987 Nissan Stanza and other elements of poetry she inadvertently passed down. She taught me to criticize is to share, so I am a better editor than lecturer, and I will be navigating you through this course on good grief. Things can get better even if you don't. A parent's death will help you with your own death. When I lost her, I tried to find ways to speak to her. Her body frame hunched over like a chair, like a crane. I keep your bathrobe at my kitchen table, perched over, the fan orbiting, the air conditioner swelling, and your ghost breathing. It's taken a long time to notice how I let you fade into my walls. The comfort of you is what I care about. Just like when you were present. You are the first ghost I feel when I come home. When will I remove you from my kitchen? This class meets every Tuesday and Thursday at Foundation Hall. Please bring a paper, a pen, and some of your own ghosts, or at least a light switch.